Okay, I'm kind of testing this out at the same time, but I'm talking and I'm hoping that you can hear me. So I watched this. I've been watching this man for a while, and his channel is DLN, Defiant Lawyer Network. Okay, the Defiant Lawyers Network. And so you can find him on YouTube. I don't know that he's on TikTok. So this might end up on TikTok. If it does, that's a great thing because I want all the young black people who have voted for Trump and they think that they can't be deported to watch this man's video because this man is a lawyer. He has legal expertise. He represents people in court, and so he knows the law and he knows all the legal terms. He is a practicing lawyer, and he talks a lot about civil rights. So my screen just popped off, but I'm going to probably do more than one video on this, and I want you all to see just how this administration that we're under could affect black Americans. So a lot of black people have it in their mind that because that they're descendants of slaves, or because Trump, he said that the 14th Amendment was to protect the babies of slaves, that they can't be deported. Originally, you're right. But Trump has done something, and he's done something where he's manipulated people. So he knew that Hispanic and black people were going to get into it about citizenship, and there was going to be this back and forth fighting and debating on who goes and who stays. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I already knew this, nobody is safe. Black, white, Hispanic, anybody here in America, even American citizens that were born here originally, no one is safe from deportation. So he's manipulated it, and he's very, very clever. He's found a way to create this divide between Hispanics and black, which has always been there, and I feel that's always been the case, that it's on purpose to get us to be divided upon each other so that we could fight and not really pay attention to what's really going on. It's always been like that, and I really do feel like we wasted our time arguing instead of mobilizing and trying to figure out how to learn about what is going on and pay attention and see how it affects all of us. So I'm going to turn this on. It may cut off. If it does, I'm going to do a part 2 of it. But this man, he pretty much breaks down the reasons why black Americans can get deported. I'll try to turn the sound up. Right now it's on a commercial, but I will turn the sound up and I will skip.
Black Americans, African Americans, especially those whose ancestors were enslaved in this country, what many people call foundational black Americans. And the answer is yes. You see him say it. I heard him say it with my own ears recently, the day after the case came down, or maybe even the same day, that the 14th Amendment was added for the babies of slaves. Well, that is true. However, the Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment does not apply just to the descendants of enslaved people. That is not the way it is written. It actually says all persons. Persons. So it's not written that way, it's not interpreted that way, and it's not applied that way. All right, so keep that in mind. It's really important. And I believe Trump is saying that so that he can divide the black and brown community. To say this is not, birthright citizenship is not for you. Basically, it's for blacks. and you're trying to take something in, you're trying to take something from them. I think that is intended to pit us against each other. And I also think that he's saying that to deceive blacks into believing that he is for us, when clearly he is not for us. All right? But let's get back to nationwide injunctions, because when the U.S. Supreme Court got rid of nationwide injunctions, that basically gave Trump free rein to do just about anything he wants to do, including deporting American citizens, not just black Americans. And the basic reason why is because no judge can stop him.
No one is
Not
safe,
with
y'all.
respect to the entire country.
Nobody in America, even if you're a citizen,
judge can stop
you're not safe
someone who
from
files
deportation.
lawsuits against Trump. But think about it. If Trump snatch up, say, 100 African Americans and deport them to Sudan or Libya or Nicaragua or El Salvador or wherever, those people are gone. They're out of the country. They're God knows wherever. And so let's say one of their family members file a lawsuit on their behalf. And let's say they successfully get an injunction from the judge. Well, it used to be, before this case, that the judge could say, basically, you got to return all 100 of these African Americans because you unlawfully deported them. But now, with this case, the judge could only say you got to bring that one person back. And the other 99, although it's unlawful, he cannot prohibit that unless they do a class action lawsuit. And class action lawsuits can take months, if not years, to get certified. So those other 99 African American people could be over there lingering, rotten in some jail or whatever, while their cases matriculate through the court system.
You hear that?
It's almost like saying you
So
can't
foundational black Americans, you're not safe. You can get deported.
Listen, this court case essentially said to judges, you cannot issue nationwide injunctions except for certified even if what he is doing is unlawful. So if you phrase the question this way, can Trump lawfully deport African Americans? The answer is clearly no. But that's not the question. The question is, can he deport African Americans even if it's unlawful? The answer to that question is yes.
Yes.
Nobody can stop him anymore. All right? I want that to be clear. This is not just about immigrants. This is not just about Latinos. This case went far beyond immigration.
You hear
I
that?
hope I'm making this clear.
I hope you guys heard that.
This is not just about immigrants. This is not just about Latino immigrants. This case went far beyond immigration. It basically, at this point, jeopardizes all of our rights. All of them. Now, I'm going to take you to the case and I'm going to show you that. So Amy Coney Barrett, Justice Barrett, wrote the case for the majority, and she said that judges could no longer issue nationwide injunctions even if what Trump is doing is unlawful.
You hear that?
You may say, wow, yes, really. Let me show you. Because
You've got receipts.
All of our rights.
Now, you might not can see that little writing,
I went over this in the
but if
video
you
that I
want to
did,
see it, check out this man's
about
video.
this very same thing. But this one, I'm talking specifically to African Americans, whether we can be deported.
He
or
breaks
any other
it
American
down
for that matter.
so that you could understand it.
So at the very top, Justice Barrett says the applications do not raise and thus we do not address Now, what applications are she talking about? Well, when the three judges issued those nationwide injunctions, the Trump administration filed applications for a stay. The word stay means stop. So they filed applications with SCOTUS. They were asking SCOTUS to stop the injunctions from stopping them from doing what they wanted to do, which was redefine birthright citizenship. All right, and the appellate court agreed with the lower court, but when it got to SCOTUS, SCOTUS agreed with the Trump administration and granted their applications, basically stopping the nationwide injunctions and also saying to the judges, don't issue anymore unless they are pursuant to class action lawsuits or to the one person or several people who are directly in a lawsuit, but don't apply that to everybody else. So since it applies only to the people named in the lawsuit, the rest of what Trump does by his executive order to the other people, he can get away with it, whether it's lawful or not, whether it's constitutional or not constitutional. All right? So here we go. The application do not raise and thus we do not address the question whether the executive order violates the Citizenship Clause of the Nationality Act. The issue before us is one of remedy. The remedy is getting the application granted. Doesn't have anything to do with the constitutionality of the executive order that Trump issued. And that is whether under the Judiciary Act of 1789, which creates federal courts, have equitable authority to issue universal injunctions. And I already told you they answered the question in the negative. No, they do not have that power going forward. Now, Justice Sotomayor, she wrote the dissent, and she called it gamesmanship that the Trump administration did not include whether the executive order was constitutional. She said that was gamesmanship. In other words, they played games. Because what they really wanted was just to get the court to say that the lower judges can no longer issue universal injunctions. That's what they were trying to get, because that's what's holding up Trump's agenda, his Project 2025 agenda, his anti-black agenda, his anti-civil rights agenda.
You hear that?
That's what was holding it up. And she says, yet shamefully, this court plays along. The majority of this court decides that these applications of all cases provide the appropriate occasion to resolve the question of universal injunction. And she goes on. Now, if we jump down to the next paragraph, she goes on to say, and this is what I want you to hear very carefully, no right is safe.
You hear that?
New legal regime the court creates.
No right is
no
safe.
Right is safe. So we can say as African Americans, we have the right not to be deported because we are citizens. We have birthright citizenship. All right? And it is true. Let me say this. I want to make sure you understand that birthright citizenship was added to the Constitution because of our enslaved ancestors. That's true. Where Trump is wrong is it doesn't just apply to us.
Knock, knock.